What's up, champs? In this video, I'm going to be sharing exactly what I eat for breakfast. Now, by no means is this the only thing I eat every single day of the year, but it is one of those meals that I tend to eat a lot because I just enjoy it. It has me feeling full, it has me feeling energized. I don't feel sluggish or anything like that. And so, before we dive in, I want to share a couple of things that you want to pay attention to when it comes to your breakfast and any meal for that matter. Okay, the first thing is simplicity. The way I am about eating foods, eating meals, and cooking meals, if it's confusing, if it has a bazillion different ingredients, I'm not gonna cook it because it's just too complicated and it's gonna take too much time. Normally my meals take about 10 to 15 minutes if I'm able to just cook it, saute it. But sometimes it takes a little bit longer if I'm having to throw like some salmon or some chicken inside the air fryer. It may take 20-25 minutes, but I'm not necessarily having to cook it, okay? But breakfast, 10-15 minutes max, okay? That's the first thing, simplicity. Now the second thing is sustainability. Now a lot of times, I see a lot of guys go to different trainers and buy these different meal plans, but they can't necessarily sustain the meals that they're eating. So what I want you to pay attention to is the meals that you're eating, can you realistically ask yourself this? You gotta have some self-awareness when it comes to, you know, dropping weight, nutrition, and exercise. You gotta ask yourself, can I sustain eating this meal for a certain length of time? You know, or do I prefer to eat these particular foods? Because the truth is, guys, when it comes to dropping body fat and nutrition, you can pretty much eat whatever you want to eat. Of course, you want to stay, you want to have nutritious foods that feed your body and soul and your spirit and gives you energy and all that good stuff. But you got to enjoy the food that you eat to a certain extent, okay? Or you can also follow my 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you're eating the foods that you need to eat. The other 20% of the time, you're eating whatever you want to eat, okay? And so that's the second part of it. It has to be sustainable. And then the third part is it has to be nutritious, okay? There's a lot of grown-ups out here. I've been coaching for over 13 years now, and I don't know why, but a lot of guys don't eat vegetables. I don't know how in the world guys don't eat vegetables. You gotta eat vegetables because you're gonna get a lot of nutrition, you're gonna get a lot of fiber, and a lot of different vitamins and minerals, essential vitamins and minerals from eating vegetables, okay? And some fruit too, right? I know there's some, trainers out there that'll say fruit is bad for you because of the sugar content. That's BS, guys. It's not true, okay? We need to eat fruit and vegetables and things like that to keep our body regulated with good vitamins, good minerals, good essential minerals and things like that. And so with that said, those are the three things: simplicity, sustainability, and you gotta make sure that it's nutritious, okay? And so with that said, we're about to get into the video. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm about to go ahead and grab the food out, and then I'm about to start cooking everything. Asparagus, liquid egg whites, and last but not least, beef sausage, because I like to switch up the texture a little bit with the foods that I eat. Now, I've been doing this a long time. I've done bodybuilding competitions and things like that. And so, one thing that I always tell guys, whenever you're trying to drop body fat, if you're in a position where you want to drop body fat, you want to reshape the way your body looks, you want to track your macros in the beginning, okay? You want to track your macros in the beginning, and so that you understand how much you need to eat per meal, all right? Now, you've got to notice that I'm not really going to share the macros and things like that inside this video because I've been doing it so long that at one point I used to track it. I used to, weigh all my foods and everything like that. But after you do it for a certain length of time, I say give or take, 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks, you really won't have to continue to weigh your food and track your food unless you're trying to be a bodybuilder or something. The reason I tell guys you want to weigh your food and track your food in the beginning is so that you gain awareness and clarity around how much you're eating. Because if you don't know, if you're getting results and you don't know why you're getting results and you don't know how much you're eating to get those results, you won't be able to keep them. You can't really have confidence if you don't know how much you're truly eating. But tracking your foods inside of an app called MyFitnessPal, that's what I have a lot of my coaching clients use. you're able to track it and see exactly how much you're eating. And doing that week to week to week, you're gonna start gaining some context around, okay, I'm eating this makes me feel this way, I feel good when I eat this much, this makes me feel horrible when I eat this much, and I'm dropping weight when I'm eating, X amount of calories. And so this is how you gain true confidence and true control over if you wanna drop weight or not. Okay, and so that said, I am gonna measure out my egg whites though, because a lot of times when I'm cooking my egg whites, because I can get a little carried away when I'm pouring the egg whites in the skillet, and so I like to measure it out. All right, now I also use olive oil to cook my food. I cook my asparagus, my egg whites, and the beef sausage. I really don't put any olive oil on that. But I put the olive oil on the asparagus and the egg whites, and I'm all about simplicity, guys, like I just said. And so I'm cooking this meal pretty quick, and I'll actually cook the beef with the asparagus, and so that way I can get it out of the way even quicker. All right, now let me get the measuring cup, and so I can put the egg whites in there. All right, so I got the skillet turned on. I'm gonna pour a little bit of olive oil in the skillet, in both skillets. Now, the other skillet is for the asparagus and the beef sausage, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and put some asparagus, about 7-8 spears. I'm gonna move that around inside the olive oil, and then with the liquid egg whites, I normally eat about a cup and 1/4. You gotta know how much you're eating, guys. All right, there's 1 cup right here. Do another 1/4. Well, it's a little bit more. Hey, a little bit more protein won't hurt nobody. All right, so that's 1/3 right there. So that's a cup and 1/3. And then the last thing is gonna be the beef sausage. I'm gonna cut this beef sausage in half. And so, a couple of things. I don't like to split it like that. So like I said earlier in the video, the type of meals I like to have are nutritious meals, okay? And so with me eating asparagus, the reason why I like to eat asparagus is actually one of my favorite vegetables, but outside of that, I like to eat asparagus because it's nutritious, okay? It's a nutritious one, and it has vitamin K in it, okay? And vitamin K helps with like bone health, bone stability, things like that. And so not only that, but also digestion. And so this is one reason that I love eating asparagus, along with the texture, the crunch that I tend to get from eating the asparagus. Now these liquid egg whites, they really take no time to cook. It took me about 3, no more than 4 minutes to saute these bad boys. And one of the things that I love about egg whites is that it's super low in calories, but it's really high in protein, and obviously there's no fat in it. But I still did get a little bit of fat in it from the olive oil that I threw in there. So that's something that you guys want to pay attention to. If you're going to be eating full eggs and you're scrambling your eggs, but you're still throwing some olive oil in there, that's extra fat on top of the eggs, okay? Fat isn't bad for you. We still want to have fats in our body to regulate our health and brain health and things like that. But you want to make sure, and also our hormones, but you want to make sure that you're in control of how much you're eating. And that's why we go back to talking about tracking how much you're actually eating, okay? And inside of an app like MyFitnessPal. And so when I first started tracking everything, I noticed, man, if I'm gonna be if I'm gonna be eating eggs and I'm gonna be sauteing my eggs with olive oil, that's too much fat. And so I cut back on the eggs. I started eating more egg whites, and I would put a little bit of olive oil inside the egg whites. And so I still have a little bit of fat in there, but it's packed with protein and it's super light on your gut. You're not gonna have that sluggish feeling after eating the meal. And that was one of the biggest things I used to struggle with early on. Back when I used to go to Chick-fil-A early in the morning before I started training clients, I would get one or two chicken biscuits and some tater tots, and I'd find myself feeling sluggish after about 15-20 minutes after eating it, and I'd be ready to go to sleep. And I didn't know it, but a lot of those carbs that are, carb-loaded breakfasts with biscuits and, waffles and things like that, if it's just loaded with carbs, it can really spike our blood sugar and make us want to go to sleep. It gives us the ice, all right? So it's not to say you can't eat carbs for breakfast. If you are gonna eat any type of carbs, you can eat like some oats or some steel oats, or maybe even some quinoa. But I tend to stray away from any type of starchy carbs early in the morning because I want to feel refreshed. I want to feel rejuvenated. I want to feel mentally sharp going into the day. And so I don't focus on eating any starchy carbs for breakfast. No, I start eating my starchy carbs around like the afternoon or evening time. I more so load my carbs in the evening time. And earlier on in the day, I'll eat more lean and protein and veggies kind of meals. And so that way I can keep my energy. Now something else that I also do with my breakfast is iced coffee, okay? Normally I'll cook my iced coffee at night. I'll put it in the Keurig, throw it in the refrigerator. It'll be cool by the time the morning comes. But just so happened this morning, I didn't get around to doing it last night. And so I'm about to knock it out right now. And then throw it in the refrigerator, throw it in the freezer, let it cool down a little bit. Might have to throw a little bit of ice in there so it can cool down a little bit quicker. But that's what I normally do also. Now, I don't drink my iced coffee or coffee in general on an empty stomach because it can mess up the lining of our gut, okay? And so instead, I'll eat it with my breakfast, and it gives you energy. That caffeine is it's a natural nootropic, and so it's gonna have you focusing a little bit better. It's gonna have you being able to be a little bit more mentally sharp going into work. And so I love drinking coffee as well with my breakfast. Alright, champs, that's a wrap. So we have the full breakfast right here. We got egg whites, then we have asparagus, and we have beef sausage. Now, I didn't say much about the beef sausage, but beef sausage, what I love about it, it does have, some fat in it, along with the protein, but it also has iron that supports with like red blood cells, and also B12, which can also help us regulate our mood. It also helps with like our energy levels, and even our bone health as well. And so that's one of the reasons I eat the beef sausage. And then the asparagus, I shared the benefits of the asparagus already. Super light on your gut. And then I like the egg whites because no fat in it outside of the olive oil that I cooked it with, but it's packed with protein, right? Packed with protein and light on your gut. All right, guys, that's a wrap. That's it for the breakfast. And so egg whites, asparagus, beef sausage, and then I got the iced coffee right here. And so listen, if you have any questions about the nutrition in this video that I shared with you, if you have any topics that you want me to talk about in the future, feel free to comment down below. Be sure to like the video if you found it helpful, and then also subscribe to the channel because I'll continue to drop videos on a weekly basis according to the things that you guys want to know more about. And so with that said, we're out of here. Let's get to the action.